Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to answer all your queries that you have asked me in all my videos. I picked up some important questions that need to be answered, and by end of this video I'm going to give you some update about the developments that has happened in last 2 days about that OPSC and OSSC thing. So stay tuned till the end of the video and you'll get all your queries clarified.
So guys, let's go to the first question, whether sectional cutoff is there for OPSC ASO. And I have been asked this question so many times in the comment box, that whether sectional cutoff is there or not, because people are majorly concerned about the language paper. Okay, so the answer is no. As per the existing pattern, there is no sectional cutoff, only aggregate cutoff is there. So there are 3 papers. Even if you are scoring 30 marks in the first paper and 180 marks out of 200 in the language paper, and your score is above the aggregate cutoff, then you are going to be in the final merit list. So sectional cutoff is not there. So once and for all, I am clarifying this. There is no sectional cutoff. Okay, next, go to the second question. Is computer certificate mandatory for ASO? I think this is a question that has been asked by a guy who is from non-technical background, basically, because if you are from technical background, so of course you must have covered computer subjects in your curriculum, so it is not required. So people who are from non-technical background, so they are having this question in their mind. So actually, in the notification itself, the OPSC has given the required documents that is to be produced during the document verification. And if you see, you need 10th, then 12th, then your degree, that means the graduation certificate and mark sheets, your photographs, then OPSC challan, that while you submit the fee during filling up the form, you submit the fee and a challan is generated. You need to keep it till the document verification. Then certificate, character certificates from your last institution, that is the conduct certificate. Caste certificate, if you are claiming any sort of reservation, then you have to produce caste certificate. Your Aadhaar card, then ODIA pass certificate, they need it. They have explicitly mentioned here ODIA pass certificate is required from the recognized boards. Then discharge certificate issued by commanding officer, this is for ex-serviceman. Then if you are a sports person, so these are the disability certificate. Then if candidate claims to possess qualification equivalent to prescribed qualification or rule of authority under which it is so treated, must be furnished within the application form. So basically these are the list of certificates or documents that you need to produce during document verification. I don't see here any sort of computer certificate is mentioned, so I don't think it is required at all by any candidate, either it is from technical or non-technical background. You do not need any computer certificate. But still, from the safe side, if you have any certificates, it's well and good. If you have, it's good. If you don't have, then don't worry. Okay, then let's go to the third question. Graduation exam is over but result has not been declared, am I eligible? So this is a question from the guy who was appeared in the examination, but the result has not been declared. So while you are applying, till that date, if you do not have your result, then boss, you cannot apply, because you need to fill your information, your marks and percentage while filling up the form. So you cannot apply. Okay, so the fourth question is, score is less than 45% in graduation, am I eligible? So I don't see any sort of cutoff. They have decided that if your score is more than 50% in the graduation, then only you can apply for ASO. So they have not mentioned anything. They have mentioned only one thing, that a candidate must possess a bachelor's degree in any discipline from a recognized university, or possess such other qualification equivalent thereto, and must have adequate knowledge in computer application. So this is the only qualification they need. They do not need any percentage or marks. So the answer is yes, you can apply. Even if your score is just 31%, you can apply. Okay, is there any probation period for ASO? Yes, there are 2 years of probation period, but this period excludes extraordinary leave, unauthorized absence, or any such period that can be held as you are not on duty. Okay, if you are unauthorizedly absent, or you have taken extraordinary leave for study or some exceptional situations, then those period will be deducted from your probation period, and your probation period will be extended beyond 2 years. Okay, so there are 2 years of probation period. Then next, can I take extraordinary leave for civil service examination preparation after clearing ASO? So actually this guy is actually preparing for, I think, civil service, and ASO he is giving, he is sitting for ASO examination just for a backup. Just he wants to be in a service and he wants to prepare for civil service examination. So here is the answer: no need of extraordinary leave for your preparation. If you want to prepare for some other examination, then ASO post gives you enough time. You will get enough time in the morning and evening hours, because the office timing is 10 to 5, so you can take a lot of liberty in this post. So you have enough time to prepare for your examination that you are appearing. But if you want to take extraordinary leave, or you think it is absolutely necessary, then actually you will get to know the terms and conditions while you are going through the training in Odisha Secretary Training Institutions. There are leave rules that has been defined in Odisha leave rules, and you will go through the conditions, and it is completely dependent upon your authority whether he will or she will grant you leave on your grounds, on whatever grounds you are showing that for this I want to take extraordinary leave. So for preparation, I don't think it's a valid ground. For higher studies, they might consider. Okay, so you can take extraordinary leave after you qualify ASO, but whether it will be granted or for how many months you can take maximum leave you can avail under extraordinary leave, that you will get to know after you go through the training, or after you get to the service. You will know when you go through the Odisha leave rules. Okay, so next question is current affairs of how many months to be covered. So this is a question that also comes time and again. A lot of people ask this question. So I think 6 months current affairs is enough, 7-8 months. But if you have time, if time permits, and you can go, time permits, and you are on the track, you are giving equal weightage to other subjects, and you have time, then you can also go up to maximum 1 year. So beyond that they are not going to ask. 7-8 months, 6-7 months is most important. You need to revise it time and again. You have to remember a lot of facts about the current affairs that has happened in 6-7 months or 8 months. But after that you can just read, or you can have a reference, because it cannot be denied that they will not ask it. But maximum up to 1 year you can cover. Okay, the next question is, from where should we prepare, especially shade, probability, arithmetic progression and statistics? See, these are the subjects. Arithmetic progression, I think it will be part of every competitive examination book, but probability, statistics you might not find in a general competitive book like RS Agrawal. You can go for some MBA entrance examination guide, you will find these chapters. Otherwise you can just refer to NCERT. From the very basic, the book explains every concepts in these chapters. So NCERT I think is the best source. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, if you see these books, then you will find these chapters. Actually you don't need to buy the books, actually it is available online also. You can just download it and you can just go through the chapters. 1 to 2 chapters you can just cover from the NCERT. Okay, no need to buy any book or something like that. Sir, in syllabus only British rule and freedom struggle is mentioned in history part. Should we stick to that only, or study the ancient and medieval too? Again, this question also creates a lot of confusion, and a lot of people ask me this question. See, I have said it a number of times that please stick to the syllabus. You need to stick to the syllabus, and if time permits, for the safe side you can go beyond. So modern India has been mentioned in your syllabus, so cover it first. Collect as much as facts and remember memorize those facts. And if time permits, you can go up to medieval. Ancient is not at all required because it is not in the syllabus. They can here and there ask one or two questions from medieval India, but they are not going to ask any question from ancient. Okay. Is 5-year age relaxation for women category is applicable? See, the upper age limit is, this is the rule that has been, this is mentioned in the notification. If you go through the notification thoroughly, you will have your queries answered. Most of the queries you'll get them clarified. Okay. The upper age limit is relaxable by 5 years for candidates belonging to the categories of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, socially and educationally backward classes (SCBC), women, ex-servicemen, and by 10 years for physically handicapped candidates. So they have explicitly mentioned it. So 5-year relaxation for women category is there. Okay. Whether Rain and Martin enough or Neetu Singh volume 1 or 2. See, do not get confused between the sources. Rain and Martin, this is a book that is kind of a Bible for grammar, English grammar. Okay, so a lot of people will find it difficult to complete and comprehend the entire book. Rain and Martin is tough. Okay, that's why I suggested Neetu Singh. So if you are reading it, or you are in the process of covering Rain and Martin, or you have read 10 chapters from it, then go ahead with the book. This is an absolute very good book. This is absolutely, I think no mentor will deny you that you do not go for Rain and Martin. Rain and Martin is the best book, I think. But yes, if you are facing any difficulty, because the language is a little bit tough, there are very typical grammar rules, and there are sub rules, so it might confuse you. So that's why I suggested a simple book to you, that is Neetu Singh volume 1 specifically, and you can go for volume 2 as well for practice. Okay. Should we go for Bipin Chandra from Modern India? Strictly no. Bipin Chandra, I think the UPSC aspirants also do not follow it. Use book, and you should not go for it. I think the civil service aspirants also avoid this book. So the next question is there any difference between the topper and the one who is just above the cutoff mark, job profile wise? So this is a very good question actually. Job profile wise, there is no difference. Is guy who was scored who was topped the examination, or the guy who was scored very minimal, like he had just crossed the cutoff. There is job profile wise, there is absolutely no difference. Any random department you can be allocated to, or any job, any responsibility, any sections you will be allocated to. There is absolutely no guidelines about it. But yes, during the promotion it will matter. The guy who was scored higher, or the guy who was topped the examination, as soon as the higher post will be vacant, he will get the first opportunity to get the promotion, or he will be promoted first. His case is going to be considered by the DPC committee, the committee who is going to decide on promotions. His case is going to be considered first. Okay, so it matters. The rank actually matters in the examination. ASO is a gazetted or non-gazetted post. ASO is a non-gazetted post. Okay, the marks in ASO 18 batch, my marks. Okay, I have made a complete video on it. Not only my marks, I have given the subject wise marks of paper wise marks of all top 10 top rankers. So I think you should watch the video. What should be the source of Odisha GK? I think the chances of static GK portion of Odisha is very minimal. They are not going to ask static questions like who was the first chief minister of Odisha, or what is the height of Jagannath temple, or who made Konark temple, or this kind of question they are not going to ask. Okay, I think mostly current developments, current affairs related to Odisha, if any scheme is being launched, or any recent developments that is important from the examination point of view in the state, those are most important. For sources for static GK, I think 1 or 2 sources I have mentioned in the ebook. If you want, then you can just cover them a little bit for your safe side, but I don't think any static portion of Odisha, geography here and there. They can ask questions like what is the longest bridge in the state, or kind of this question. But I don't think it is. Major portions are from current affairs and history and science and economics. Those are from, I have made an entire video on GS strategy, so you can just watch it. I don't think that they are going to ask any static GK from Odisha. Okay, please inform how the category wise candidates are selected. If ST or SC candidate is number one in the merit list, will he be allocated a general seat? Answer is perhaps no. एकलव्यर अंगूठी कटा है परंपरा एजाए चली आसुची. I think this guy is really biased towards the quota system, and he doesn't even know that how the seats are allocated under reservation. See, the basic rule of reservation says that they have reserved seats for different categories. Then they have kept an unreserved part. So unreserved itself, the word, it means that it is not reserved for anybody. Even if somebody is from a reserved category, if he scores sufficiently higher from the cutoff that has been decided for the unreserved category, then he is going to be placed in the unreserved category. So doesn't matter that whether he belongs to SC, ST or OBC category. I think unreserved category itself suggests that it is not reserved for anybody. So you can. Okay, so I have written here, basic rule of reservation says that any reserved category students will be placed in the unreserved list if your C scores sufficiently higher than that of the unreserved contemporaries. Okay, so he can top the examination, he can be allocated a seat in unreserved category. Okay. Sir, ଶୁଣିବାକୁ ମିଳୁଛି କି OPSC will conduct the exam after election due to busy schedule. Is it true? Not sure about the date. I'm not sure about the date because it is completely dependent upon the decision that will be taken jointly by the administrative authority and the OPSC. So date you will get once the notification is out. I would suggest you to have patience. Okay, concentrate on your preparation and have patience until the notification is out. But certainly I don't think it will be that late because the government wants it to happen early, to fill the vacant posts early. And it is true that there is vacancy. There is vacancy of around 796, around 800. Okay, so it is up to the administration whether they are going to break it and release a notification for few posts, or they are going to release a notification for the entire lot of vacancy. What is going to be the scenario that will be cleared out once the notification is out, but nothing can be said right now. Okay, ASO 21 by OPSC or OSS update 1. So this is the part that I was talking about, that I am going to give one update that I have right now. Okay, so I really do not know what happened in the meeting. So it is the inside news. Whether it is correct or not, I do not have any solid information, but I have the information that OPSC has said that it want to delay the examination because it has released a calendar, and it has released the calendar for the entire year. There's a very packed schedule for OPSC, and OPSC wants to defer the examination, where the administration wants to push it. The administration wants to make it happen earlier. So this is what the making things more complicated. So we will soon get update on it. We will have the final update on it. So another update is Odisha Secretariat Service Association has given a representation to the Chief Secretary of Odisha on 21st October 21 to conduct the recruitment by OPSC, and it is clearly standing by it. Okay, if you read this, I would like to bring before your kind attention that the OPSC has been conducting the examination of the OSS cadre since long, OPSC has conducted 3 number of recruitments for the post of ASO in recent years, 2012 to 12-13, then 15-16, then 18-19. As I said in my last video that it has conducted 3 rounds of recruitment. The recent communication of OPSC to the Home Department on the recruitment of ASOs has demoralized many aspirants across the state. The recruitment of ASOs in OSS cadre is considered to be one of the prestigious examination in the state. All these points I have discussed in my last video. The job profile of an ASO is quite important as it serves as the backbone of administrative work and provides permanent bureaucracy and functionary staff at the state secretariat level. In the last 3 recruitments to the post of ASO conducted through OPSC, very highly qualified candidates having skills in versatile fields have been selected and inducted into the cadre. This helped in inclusion of new energy, skill, dynamism, work style and culture into the state administration. It is required that recruitment examination for the post of ASO be conducted through OPSC as usual, and further the pay scales of different posts of OSS cadre be restructured, fixing the pay of the base level post, that is ASO, at level 10. So basically this is a demand from since very long actually. It was a demand during our recruitment also in 2018 and before that. It was a demand that the post OPSC ASO, it should have a grade pay of 4600, as just like the central government's scale of pay. In central government also there is a post of assistant section officer in central secretariat, so it is a 4600 grade pay post. So earlier it was a demand and still they are demanding to increase the basic level of pay. Okay, so if you see that there is nothing more to it, but yes, the Odisha Secretariat Service Association is also demanding that the examination should happen by OPSC and not by any other commission. Okay, and they are also demanding to increase the level of pay. So this was the last update from my side, and as soon as I get any further update, I will update you guys. So do not worry about this fact that who is going to conduct the examination, whether the pattern of the examination is going to change. Do not worry about all these things. Just like I said in my last video that you should concentrate on your preparation, and this will give you the best result. Okay.
So guys, I think I clarified all your doubts, and if you have more, then please do not hesitate to post them in the comment box. I will try to make more Q&A videos, and I will try to accommodate all your questions in those videos. Okay. And regarding who is going to conduct the examination or when the examination is going to be conducted, until the official notification is out or an official announcement from the administrative department or OPSC, we will have to be patient. I will suggest you to be patient and to focus on your preparation, because you see that the serving officers, the Odisha Secretariat Service Association, is also strongly demanding that the examination should be conducted by OPSC, so that the stature, the importance of the cadre is not hampered. So let's be optimistic and let's just focus on our preparation. Do not let yourself diverted by all these rumors in the market. So please concentrate on your preparation. Okay, so that will be all from my side for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.